From a fake photo of a Syrian boy sleeping next to his dead parents to a September 11 photo that fooled thousands of people. Join us as we take a look at 10 famous photos that turned out to be hoaxes.
William H. Mumler was a 19th century spirit photographer that worked out of New York. His claim to fame was that he could photograph people and have the spirits of their deceased friends and relatives appear in the back of the portrait. One of his most famous photographs is the ghost of Abraham Lincoln. The story goes that sometime in early 1869, Mary Todd Lincoln sat for one of Mumler's portrait photographs under the alias Mrs. Lindell. It's thought that Mumler couldn't have known this was the former wife of Abraham Lincoln. Once the image was developed, Mumler claimed that the spirit of Abraham Lincoln could be seen standing behind Mrs. Lincoln. It was later revealed that Mrs. Lincoln was encouraged to identify the figure as her late husband by Mumler's wife, who also claimed to be a medium. In April 1869, Mumler was taken to court on account of fraud. Famous showman P.T. Barnum testified against Mumler, saying that he was taking advantage of grief-stricken customers whose judgment was clouded by the passing of their loved ones. Some witnesses claimed that Mumler broke into houses to steal photographs of deceased relatives. Others said that the spirits showing up in his photos were just pictures of people that were still alive at the time. Mumler was eventually acquitted of fraud, but his career was left in tatters. Today, his spirit photographs are considered hoaxes. This image isn't a deliberate hoax as such, rather it's a good example of how traditional and social media can run with false information. In early 2014, this image started spreading around news outlets and social media. Attached to it was a story that this was an orphaned Syrian boy that sleeps next to the graves of his dead parents. The striking image struck a chord with the public and was shared thousands of times. The truth is that this is a staged image created for an art project by photographer Abdul Aziz Al-Otabi. It was taken in Saudi Arabia and has nothing to do with the crisis in Syria. The two graves are just piles of stones and the young boy is Al-Otabi's cousin. In an effort to look mighty, fascist dictator Benito Mussolini doctored this image. First, he had the horse handle removed to make it look like he's in full control of the animal. The man at the rear of the horse was also erased. Finally, he manipulated the clouds to make it a more striking and powerful image. In 1933, this photo began circulating through a number of widely read newspapers, purporting to be an image of baby Adolf Hitler. The photo was originally distributed by Acme newspapers, claiming that the squishy, pug-faced child was the future Führer of Germany. In October 1933, the Chicago Tribune ran the image next to a picture of an adult Hitler, addressing 500,000 farmers and stormtroopers with the caption, "Two pictures of Hitler." Weeks later, the German consulate in Chicago wrote to the Chicago Tribune to correct the mistake. They then submitted this authenticated image of baby Hitler. It wasn't until 1938 that the identity of the squishy-faced child was revealed. Mrs. Harriet Downs from Ohio saw the picture in a magazine and immediately recognized it as her baby boy John Warren. Here's the original image here. You can see that the original image shows a cute little boy with a fresh white bonnet on. The dark scowl lines and matted hair had clearly been doctored into the image. To this day, no one knows how the image began circulating as baby Adolf Hitler. Acme newspapers, who were the first to run the image, investigated its origins, tracing it back to their syndicate's London bureau, who in turn received it from someone in Austria. But that's where the trail ends. Historians are dumbfounded how a random photo of a baby from Ohio made its way to Austria to become a famous piece of propaganda. Sadly, in 1938, just months after his baby photo was correctly identified, 8-year-old John Warren died when he fell from his bicycle and pierced his heart on a milk bottle. Following the devastating Indian Ocean tsunami in 2004, an email chain began circulating this image. It claimed to be taken from a tall building in Phuket, Thailand, right as the wave was about to hit the shoreline. The email asked the reader to appreciate the sheer scale of the wave, as many news outlets weren't showing it at its height of destruction. As the email chain gained traction, people started noticing some inconsistencies with the image. If it's Thailand, why are they driving on the right-hand side of the road? Also, the waves that struck the coast of Thailand measured 4 meters, yet the wave depicted here looks about 20 stories high. And finally, it doesn't resemble the coast of Phuket at all. In fact, an internet commentator noted that it's actually the coast of Antofagasta, Chile, thus proving this image to be a complete hoax. In June 2015, a YouTuber by the name of Dear Julie, who was supposedly going through a divorce at the time, started cutting all his belongings in two just to get back at his ex-wife. He posted photos of a TV sliced in twain, a little stuffed bear in two pieces, and even a car cut in half. He said he was going to sell everything he cut up on eBay. Almost everyone bought the story as the internet lapped it up, watching this jaded lover cut through all his belongings piece by piece. However, it was soon revealed to be a complete hoax, nothing more than a marketing stunt from a German website that helps people find lawyers. This image started doing the social media rounds in 2012. It was allegedly taken at the Scientific Center in Kuwait after their shark tank exploded, filling the lobby with thousands of litres of water and two large sharks. The image spread like wildfire as people the world over marvelled at the striking photo. However, the photo was soon debunked when identical images minus the sharks emerged. The actual location was Toronto's Union Station after a surge of rainwater and sewage flooded the entrance. To this day, no one knows who created the image. Shortly after September 11, this photo started appearing around the internet. It shows a man on the observation deck of the World Trade Center in New York right as the plane is about to hit. The story goes that after the plane hit, the camera survived the building's collapse and was recovered by the FBI during cleanup, revealing this startling photo. Some months later, a Brazilian businessman by the name of Jose Roberto Penteado claimed to be the tourist in the photo. He got significant media attention doing chat shows and radio. He was even allegedly offered a TV commercial deal with Volkswagen. With the swell of media attention that Penteado received, another man by the name of Peter Guzli from Hungary stepped forward, stating he was the man in the photograph. However, he claimed that he doctored the photo and was never there on September 11, 2001. He claimed the photo was taken in 1997 during a vacation to the US. He later submitted evidence to authorities that indeed proved that he had faked the photo from the very beginning, and only intended to share the image as a joke among friends. In 2009, a pernicious email thread was spreading around this photo. It claimed it was a snap taken during a horrific mid-air collision of Air France Flight 447 and an Airbus 330. While these two flights did meet a tragic end, they didn't collide with one another, and this photo was not taken on board either of the planes. This photo was a single frame taken from the pilot episode of ABC's television show Lost. In late 2002, this photo of former President George W. Bush went viral around the internet. It shows the former president reading a copy of America, a Patriotic Primer by Lynn Cheney, wife of former Vice President Dick Cheney. There in Bush's hand, the book appears to be upside down. Many theories were offered to explain the image. It could have been an assistant that handed the book upside down right as the photo was taken, giving little time for Bush to realise the mistake. Another theory said that the jacket of the book may have been placed upside down, so the words would have been the right way up but the cover upside down. But in actual fact, the image turned out to be a complete hoax. Here's the original photo taken for the Associated Press at the George Sanchez Charter School in Houston during the summer of 2002.
Well, hey, so I don't know about you, but when that sharks at the bottom of the escalator photo first came out, I was fooled good and proper. How about you? Have you fallen for any famous hoax photos? Let us know in the comment section below and we'll have a good chat about it. And that's it for this episode. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all next time.